Hello everyone, my name is Lil Burrs. I am a speedrunner and a moderator of the game Space Marine 2, and I'm going to be making a guide for you today about the first operation Inferno and how to speedrun it as quickly as you possibly can. Before we get into the actual operation itself, let's go over the classes that we would like to play. Now, for solo, Vanguard is the best option as it gives us the grapnel launcher, which is one of the quicker ways to move, only behind the assault jump pack. But the reason we take Vanguard over assault, at least in solo play, is that we get access to the melter rifle, which will help us kill the waves of enemies in the level to help progress us faster. Assault lacks in the wave killing potential, why Vanguard is superior for a solo play. Now, for co-op, it can be a little different. Personally, I prefer tactical and heavy to be the 1 and 2. Tactical and heavy will help you definitely clear waves quicker, especially with the aspect scan that tactical brings, and the heavy just brings itself as it's a wave destroyer. And the third slot for your co-op can be assault or vanguard. It depends on your tactical and heavy players. If they are good enough to kill waves by themselves, assault is the best third option as it does move through the map more quickly. But if you're looking for more stability in your group, the extra wave clear potential, Vanguard does just as well. It's just not as quick, but it does make up for it in the wave killing aspect. The melter rifle for this mission is basically the best. You could bring the bolt rifle with the grenade launcher if you're playing tactical, as the grenade launcher is a very strong attachment, but it relies on heavily on finding ammo boxes throughout the level, and normally we're spending most of the level running as quick as we can and not looking for ammo boxes, so it might fall short on the higher difficulties, making the melter rifle more consistent, but if you prefer the bolt rifle with grenade launcher, acceptable as well. Now, let's go ahead and get into the actual level itself. Now, we are in the mission itself. When playing solo, the fastest way is to just skip all the enemies and run a direct path through the jungle. But when playing on co-op, the fastest way to actually traverse the level is have your two players that are not playing either the assault or vanguard class come in these first enemies, go down and die on purpose, thus allowing your assault or vanguard class to move to the level as quick as they can to the next checkpoint, and they're not waiting on you to catch up. This will save a little bit of time going through your level. If you don't prefer that, completely fine, but that is the quickest way to go. Is that your assault or vanguard will just steam through it while your tactical and your heavy will go down and die on purpose, and then respawn at the next checkpoint at the demolition camp. Now that we are progressing through the jungle, I do want to highlight this particular section of the jungle if you are playing especially as the assault class, but also the vanguard, but mostly the assault class. If you are new to the assault class, or at least new to speedrunning with the assault class, abusing high ground and enemy spawns is super key to gaining long distances using the jetpack. I will show a clip from my Vox Liberatus run of me abusing this such thing right now. As you can see from the clip, if we do this effectively, we can skip several chunks of the map quickly and effectively without worrying about killing enemies, getting stuck behind enemy spawns, or anything like that. Now we are at the Demolition Code Camp. This is the first of the three major RNG sections of this operation. This one is the most forgiving as it's right at the beginning, and you're usually at this camp within about 2 minutes or so if you're going at a quick pace. And the RNG we're looking for at this particular spot is getting the demolition codes either off the first or second body. We prefer the first. This is the one right next to the ammo crate. Now, I will say that these bodies are not 100% guaranteed spawn rates. Sometimes one or both are not there in a run. If that happens, try to get it off the body that is there if one did not spawn. If neither are there, I usually just reset if I don't get it off the first, second bodies, or if neither have spawned. So preferably one off the first body. If we get it off the second body, it's about a 10-second time loss. So it's a decent time chunk loss, but it's better than going up into the camp. Personally, if I have to go up into the camp to get the codes or even the cave itself, I tend to just reset, as this is pretty easy to get to, pretty quick to get to, so it's not a considerable waste of time getting the good RNG off this section. Now that we have acquired our demolition codes, we are on to the next section of the level, which is getting into the facility itself. It is a pretty straightforward process. We're going to kick the rocks down and run a straight path through the middle and around up until we get into the doors and into the next section. Do not take these outside paths that go up here or around here where the gene seed would spawn around here. They are just extra time. We don't need to. Just go straight down the middle path, around and into the doors. That is the fastest way to get there. Now we have arrived at the facility at the crane section of the operation. This is the second of the 3 major RNG components of the operation. What we're looking for here is to get a 1-phase crane to allow us to continue through the level as quick as possible. What do I mean by a 1-phase? Well, we want to get a crane gem, which we can fix at the left and right levers here at the back of the room next to the big door, or to defend one of the generators, preferably generator 2, enemies will spawn back here, or generator 3, and the enemies will spawn back here. Now, why do we prefer generators 2 or 3? Well, when we press the button right here, we will be standing up here waiting to know where to go, what to do. So generators 2 and 3 are obviously closer. You can get generators 4 or 1, but we do have to travel there to kill the waves, which is a small bit of time loss, but it is not the end of the world. Now, we are looking to do this once, either fix the crane gem or defend the generator. We want to do one of those things once, and then the dialogue that will allow us to open the door back here and continue through the level as quick as possible. Now that the bomb is in place, we are going to get from the crane section to the next elevator as quickly as possible. This one section I do want to mention, if you are playing the Assault or Vanguard class, is that if an enemy is spawned over here, the Vanguard can grapple over this gap, or the Assault can just simply jump over it, saving a little bit of time if you're playing solo, of course. We have made it up the elevator and are at the last section of the operation before the platform. I want to point out one more small thing, is that from this platform right here, if enemies have spawned right here, the grapnel launcher can then launch over this gap, skipping having to walk around, or the Assault can just simply jump over it and quicker to get to the platform. We have made it to the end of the operation, to the final platform, which we need to detonate the bomb. This is the third and final section of RNG for the operation to get a good run. How this section of the operation works is there are 3 waves with 2 sets of enemies per wave. Waves 1 and 3 spawn outside the facility, while wave 2 spawns in the facility. Waves 1 and 3 have few spawns outside the facility. On the right hand side, they have this metal bridge, this small hill on the right, this middle straight shot, and the left side with the small hill, the big hill in the background, and the metal bridge here. The good RNG is to have both sets in waves 1 and 3 spawn somewhere on this left side. It does not matter which of the 3, but as long as you get them to spawn both on this left side is what we're looking for. Why do we want this? Is because when the waves spawn, They will all collect here and then run up here onto our fire traps, start climbing the wall, and as the bulk of the wave is on top of the fire trap, we will ignite it, killing majority of the wave, and only have to kill the few stragglers that make it up. Now, wave 2 will spawn both sets of enemies from within the facility. They can spawn from one of 3 locations. It can spawn from the left on top of the scaffolding up here, these half metal open doors in the middle, or the red crates on the right hand side. Now, both sets can spawn from the same location, which is the RNG we are looking for. The locations we prefer are either the middle door right here or the right hand side. The reason being is that these are easy to get to enemies. We can easily kill the waves quickly, one after another, with no hesitation. The reason the left side is the slower one is that there is a chance that enemies will sit on top of the scaffolding or even these crates up here and prolong your wave clearing abilities, thus making it take longer. Though you can do it, especially if you're playing in co-op with somebody who has a bolt rifle, that definitely does help with a grenade launcher to clear these enemies. But generally speaking, we do want from the middle door or the right side for both sets. Now, as we are finishing up, a few more things about the operation as a whole. First off, if you do encounter a boss such as a Carnifex or whatever, the best bet is to normally just reset, as the mission will force you to kill it. If you're playing on minimal difficulty, it is sometimes okay to kill it depending on what part you're in, but generally speaking, I tend to just reset. Now, there is an exception to this. If you're at the very end platform and it does spawn, you still can finish the mission with it alive. It does add a degree of difficulty, of course, but it is doable. When at the final platform, our goal is to kill the waves as quick as possible, as the next wave will spawn based on the last wave prior being dead. It is not time-based, it is based off when the wave beforehand is killed. So after the third wave is killed, we will then be able to detonate the bomb, which is why we prefer grouping the enemies up, killing them as fast as possible, allowing us to spawn the next wave, and then detonate the bomb after the third wave, respectively. I want to thank you all for watching this guide on speedrunning the first operation, Inferno in Space Marine 2. Inferno to me is the operation with the most RNG, as it does require the stars to kind of align to get the God run. I did actually see that near God run in my world record for Ruthless difficulty solo at 11 minutes and 42 seconds. The only thing I did not get was the perfect demolition codes. I did get it on the second body, but otherwise I got the best RNG I possibly could. I recommend people to go watch that video to see me implement everything in this video that I talked about in that run. The only thing in that run that I would say is that the movement is not so optimized, as it was very early on that I made that video before all the movement tech was discovered. Otherwise, it is still a very solid run. Check out the speedrun.com for our leaderboards. I recommend everybody watch all the videos, especially the world record ones, on all the difficulties. They're exciting to watch, stuff you can learn, and I will definitely be making guides for every single operation. I just want to thank you all for watching this one. Have good runs and good hunting.